After playing Destiny 2 for over a year, I and many other Guardians have become accustomed to certain guns and loadouts. We like what we like and seldom deviate from what works best for us. With the introduction of the Black Armory and the weapon forges, Guardians have a chance to build new and sometimes unique weapons with combat and their own metal. Although we don't have complete control over what the Black Armory's forges spit out, the mystery can be gratifying if luck is on your side. And I don't think anyone would pass up an opportunity to acquire a new weapon. Today we're going to go over the 2 guns that are available to forge this week in the EDZ's Forge, Volundr. Let's get started. Auto rifles don't have a great reputation in Destiny 2. You can pick anyone from your collection and you'll have your hands on a usable weapon, and normally that's a good thing. But Guardians don't want something usable, they want to feel like gods among men. If you're extremely determined or lucky, the Volundr Forge will spit out an auto rifle that comes very close to doing that. The Ringing Nail is an unimposing precision frame auto rifle with solid base stats, a selection of scopes for all ranges, short, medium, and long, and a healthy selection of magazine and ammunition options like high caliber rounds and appended mag. But none of that matters. What's important is it can roll with Dragonfly and Rampage at the same time. Rampage is the best thing you can hope for on an auto rifle. Killing an enemy grants you a stack of Rampage, which increases your damage and can be stacked up to 3 times. This trait is great on any weapon, but with auto rifles it makes them cut through enemies like a hot knife through butter. Dragonfly causes elemental explosions when you kill an enemy with a precision hit. The explosion isn't amazingly powerful, but it provides good crowd control because the explosion usually staggers enemies it doesn't kill. This perk is typically reserved for accurate weapons like hand cannons, scout rifles, and bows, which makes sense. But while the effectiveness of perks that require precision kills on a fully automatic weapon is debatable, there's no denying that with a skilled hand, it will lead to unprecedented destruction. With that in mind, there's a very good chance that if you get your hands on the Ringing Nail, you'll be disappointed. Without Dragonfly, it doesn't feel special because every other perk it can roll, except for a few Black Armory exclusives, can be found on other auto rifles like the Valakadon, Ether Doctor, and Tiger Spite. If you're going to try your luck forging this weapon, look for Dragonfly as your first trait and hope for Rampage, Kill Clip, or High Impact Reserves as your second. Unfortunately, I don't know all the combinations it can roll with, but for now, you can set your sights on these. Any of them will serve you extremely well. For mods, a minor spec is your best option, with a backup mag being a close second and everything else coming in third. Auto rifles have a relatively low damage output, which is made up for by its ease of use. Adding extra punch to your shots against red bar enemies will make your life easier. For the rest of your build, Auto Rifle Scavenger, Dexterity, and Unflinching perks are unnecessary, but a Reloader perk on your gloves will make the weapon feel smoother. It doesn't have a slow reload, but it's not quick either. So at the end of the day, the Ringing Nail is just an auto rifle, but it feels amazing with Dragonfly and Rampage together. I'm glad I have it, but sometimes I need something bigger to get the job done. The question is, how much bigger can the Black Armory Forges go? The Hammerhead is the first legendary machine gun introduced into Destiny 2. It's amazing no matter what perks and traits you get on it, and the best part is, it's big. There are obviously some combinations of perks and traits that are better than others, but they feel more like extra frosting on an already delicious cake. Unlike the other heavy weapons, machine guns are versatile and consistent, and the Hammerhead is no exception. Part of the adaptive family like the Thunderlord exotic machine gun, it fires at a steady 450 rounds per minute and has a very easy to control recoil. Because of that relatively low rate of fire, the gun's 240 rounds of reserves feel like they last forever. Even more so if you're firing in controlled bursts when clearing adds. And if you really want to make your ammo last forever, you can use 2 machine gun reserve perks, one on your helmet and one on your class item, bringing your maximum capacity to a whopping 332. With that much ammo, you can kill all the enemies in a strike and still have enough to melt a boss. Though I'll admit it feels more like you're melting chocolate in a microwave than throwing something into a volcano. But that's okay. The Hammerhead isn't meant to be the damage king, it's meant to be the consistency king. And it is. The Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper rifle is and will always be the strongest heavy weapon in Destiny 2, until you inevitably miss a headshot and all of your dreams of infinite ammo fly out the window with your DPS. If you miss a shot with the Hammerhead, you'll probably have about 200 more chances to get your act together. Even better still, it can make use of the Mulligan perk, which gives missed shots a chance to refund ammunition. For other perks, like I said before, you can go with anything and have a strong weapon, but there are some choices that stand out. Feeding Frenzy and Rampage will help you shred through trash enemies and large groups of majors with deadly efficiency. Feeding Frenzy increases your reload speed after killing an enemy, and Rampage again increases your damage when you kill an enemy and stacks up to 3 times. Against bosses, an extended magazine with high impact reserves will up your damage output by a decent amount. High impact reserves increases your damage as the magazine gets lower, and with 73 rounds in the mag, you'll have a lot of powered up rounds. Finally, if you've got a big pair of balls in your trousers and you like to get up close and personal with your enemies, Surrounded paired with a threat detector and extended mag will give you a great tool for Rambo-style destruction. At first glance, the Hammerhead might not seem like anything too crazy, but if you appreciate a jack-of-all-trades that comes very close to mastering all the things it does, then you can appreciate this heavy machine gun. It's a great weapon regardless of the perks and traits you get on it, but the stuff you wind up with will help give your Hammerhead a more defined role. I don't feel the need to build an entire set around this weapon, but if you do, you'll have a heavy weapon with a similar ammo capacity to a primary. Remember, you'll have 332 rounds of reserves if you have 2 machine gun reserve perks, 1 on your helmet and 1 on your class item. Pair that with a machine gun scavenger on your gloves and a heavy ammo finder somewhere else, and it will be so glorious. Last but certainly not least, don't be turned off by the fact that the Hammerhead isn't the highest DPS heavy weapon in the game. Also, don't forget about the ringing nail either. It's not as big as the Hammerhead, and it might not be as powerful as the Ikelos shotgun, but dealing high damage per second isn't the only marker for a great weapon. And there we go. That's going to do it for our first Black Armory review. This one was a lot of fun to make because experimenting with new weapons and new perks is always fun. Of course, Dragonfly and Rampage are nothing new, but there's never been an auto rifle with both of them at the same time, and I love it. It's really awesome. And of course, the heavy machine gun. It speaks for itself. It destroys everything, and it's got a ridiculous amount of ammo. Moving forward, I'm going to continue doing reviews of the Black Armory weapons as they get released, so you can expect at least one of these videos every week. Before we close out completely, I just made a Patreon page, so if you are enjoying the content and would like to provide even more support than you already do by commenting, liking, and even just watching the video, you can head over there and look at the very basic donation tiers that I have. I would greatly appreciate it, but even if you don't, hey, that's fine. Just leave a like, leave a comment, and I will appreciate you regardless. So, with all of that said, the name of the game is Destiny 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. If you enjoyed this video, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I just said that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.